and she was by his side throughout their storied life together. Today, former President George H.W. Bush was with his beloved Barbara when she passed away.
Barbara Bush was 92 years old, the matriarch of this political dynasty, married 73 years to the first man she ever kissed.
Theirs was a love story for the ages and the longest presidential marriage in U.S. history. Barbara and her George. Sweethearts since the age of 16 and 17 when they met at a Christmas dance. They were engaged before he was shipped off as a naval aviator to fight in World War II, and they were married when he returned home in 1945. His love letters, written from the Pacific, read from the vault of his presidential library on Valentine's Day, 2017.
I love you, precious, with all my heart, and to know that you love me means my life. How often I have thought about the immeasurable joy that will be ours someday, he wrote. Good night, my beautiful. Every time I say beautiful, you about kill me, but you'll have to accept it.
But it wasn't a presidential path, rather the publishing world that Barbara Pierce first knew. Born in 1925 in New York, the daughter of the president of the McCall Corporation, behind popular women's magazines like Redbook. One of 4 children herself, Barbara and George would have 6 kids, setting up the family home in Midland, Texas, where George worked in the oil business. Their family, though, hit by tragedy when their 3-year-old daughter died of leukemia.
You don't get over it. It's very hard to talk about it. But
I know, even now after all these years.
But it makes everybody more valuable.
The Bushes moved more than 24 times as he transitioned out of the private sector and into politics. Then in 1980, the family hit the national stage when Ronald Reagan and George Bush won the White House, and the Bushes moved into the vice presidential mansion. George Bush went on to win the White House himself in 1988, and Barbara held the Bible as her husband was sworn in as the nation's 41st president.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
As First Lady, she promoted reading, chairing the Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy. Her sons, Jeb and George W., followed in their father's political footsteps as the governors of Florida and Texas.
I'm overawed by both Jeb and George, truthfully, running for public office, and I'm thrilled.
George W. Bush won the White House in 2000, making her only the 2nd woman in history to be both mother and a wife to a U.S. president. The Bushes retired in Texas, and they spent much of their time at the family compound in Kennebunkport, Maine. Barbara, full of spunk and smiles, always kept her family close.
President Trump has ordered all flags to be flown at half-staff in honor of Barbara Bush. The former First Lady will lie in repose on Friday at St. Martin's Episcopal Church in Houston. This is when the public can pay its respects. A private funeral is planned for Saturday morning. She will be buried at the Bush Library at Texas A&M University.